Good morning. This is Pamela Evans with Vocational Rehabilitation Services, partner of the Career Force Center. Welcome to the Brainerd Area Virtual Career Fair. We'll start with some basic housekeeping information. In the Q&A box, you'll find in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, you'll find a link to the attendance form. So please click on this link and complete the short form so we can record your attendance in minnesotaworks.net. In the Q&A feature today, you'll be able to ask questions of our employer guests. You will also find links for breakout sessions offered by some of today's featured employers. These breakout sessions will be happening right after our career fair today. Closed captioning is also available. You'll find the button probably in the lower right-hand portion of your screen marked CC. Click on that box to obtain the closed captioning, and then you can select the gear wheel to select a particular language if you need a language other than English. I'd like to introduce my co-producers today, Sam from Deed, Darla and Jama from Rural Minnesota SEP. They'll be monitoring the Q&A section. So for now, I'd like to welcome our employers today. We have Shiloh Assisted Living, Trident Seafoods, Mason Brothers, Essentia Health and Barrett Pet Foods. Shiloh Assisted Living and Essentia Health will both be offering post-event breakout sessions today, so watch for links for that in the Q&A. So to start us off, I'd like to introduce Whitney with Barrett Pet Food Innovations.
Good morning. I hope everyone is having a good week so far. I'm Whitney and I work for a company called Barrett Pet Food Innovations, and I couldn't be happier to share with all of you a little bit about us. Barrett Pet Food Innovations, also known as BPI, is a leading premium pet food manufacturer with facilities located in the beautiful Brainerd Lakes area in Little Falls. BPI is a family-owned business with 2 generations still active in day-to-day operations. Mike still farms crops for our kibble, and his daughter and son, Sarah and Tom, oversee employee and customer relations. BPI produces, packages, and ships dry pet food throughout the world for several different customers, providing them with a high-quality product that every animal deserves. We do our absolute best to source locally and make products we are proud of. We produce a variety of pet food and initially had a focus on bird and hamster. However, the demand for dog and cat food was much higher, and BPI ended up growing substantially with it. Next slide, please. We are currently operating 3 facilities in the Lakes area. The first is BIC, which is strictly dedicated to warehousing and shipping for one customer. Secondly is our Brainerd facility, which is where I'm calling all of you from today. We operate 24 hours a day, Monday through Friday. The same hope we hope to have for our Little Falls facility in the near future, because currently we are only running 2 shifts and are staffing the 3rd. In the past 2 years, BPI has doubled production and tripled the amount of employees we have due to finding efficiency while growing at such a rapid rate. We have filled 120 plus positions in the past year alone and currently still have more than 40 openings between Brainerd and Little Falls. Among these openings is warehouse material handlers, packaging laborers, plant laborers, meat room operators, and extruder and dryer operators. The extruder operator ensures we are making product up to customer expectations, and the dryer operators work hand in hand with them to ensure kibble is correct. Being we are a food manufacturer, all positions have a large role in sanitation of the facility, from sweeping to completely breaking down equipment to ensure we are producing the highest quality product. Next slide, please. Current openings, aside from packaging, are for 2nd and 3rd shift in both facilities, with varying wages anywhere from $13.75 to $25 an hour, depending on position as well as experience. While BPI is growing, we still value a healthy work-life balance for all of our employees and do our absolute best to ensure just that. All of our shifts are 8 hours, and we do not have any swing shifts. When it comes to weekend work, it is a rarity, and even then usually made up of volunteers. We also like to have fun outside of work, and BPI hosts seasonal employee parties to show how much we appreciate everything our employees do for us. These parties include an ice fishing contest, fireworks, bands, as well as other employee engagement activities throughout the year. Another way we try to make our BPI team happy is by providing a good set of benefits. Next slide, please. These benefits include company-paid medical, dental, vision, life insurance, and disability insurance, 401k with the company match, as well as PTO, which is accrued and sometimes rewarded for weekend work. And of course, free and discounted pet food for all employees. If you are interested in joining our team or have any questions, please feel free to call 320-277-3555 and ask for Whitney or Eric. You can also send resumes to jobs@barrettpetfood.com, apply direct online through Indeed by searching Barrett Pet Food Innovation, or you can always stop in to our Brainerd or Little Falls location and pick up an application. Thanks for listening to me to talk about a company I am ever so proud to work for. I look forward to talking to those of you who do reach out, and thank you all for your time today. Any questions?
Yes, do we have any questions in our Q&A for this employer?
Right now they're a little bit shy and we don't have any questions to share with you at the moment.
Well, I would have some questions for you, Whitney. So what skills or experience are important to get started in a career at Barrett?
We are open to all kinds of experience levels just because our positions do vary. For like a packaging position, very limited. We'd probably consider anyone. And then once you get up to like the warehouse material handler, forklift experience, computer knowledge, things like that are important. And then for operators, that would be probably like 2 to 5 years in an operating position, just because they do kind of control the quality of our products because they're working with all of our departments to ensure that we are providing the correct product and making sure it's good.
Thank you. And Pam, we do have a question. Do you ever offer tours of your facility?
Yep. Whenever we do an interview or anything like that, we always will take people back just so they know what they're getting into. We have done walkthroughs in the past. However, COVID has kind of been a challenge just because we're trying to limit the amount of foot traffic.
But, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have another question for you, Whitney. If someone starts in an entry-level position, is there internal training to help someone to grow into advanced positions and obtain promotions?
Absolutely. Everything is performance-based. So even if you say start out in packaging and we believe you have a lot of potential, we have really good supervisors who are always on the floor training and overseeing things. And if they think that you'd be a better fit somewhere else or that we could utilize you anywhere else, there's always that option and that, yeah.
Thank you. So how about any behind the scenes kinds of positions? Like, do you have your own accounting department, maybe marketing, information technology? How do you handle those functions in your company?
Yep, we have an accounting department, an IT guy, all that stuff. And a lot of our office staff have been with us for a long time. However, we have recently hired a couple more, and we do have an open position for someone to help our accounting department actually right now. It just got posted today, so anyone is interested about that position, also feel free to give us a call.
All right, thank you so much, Whitney. Are there any other questions that came in through the Q&A?
Well, I did want to share a comment that one of our attendees shared about appreciating Barrett respecting people's weekends and not doing mandatory overtime. That's a nice feature. And yeah, thank you for that comment. And Whitney, we thank you for that as well.
Thank you for the feedback. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you very much, Whitney. And so I think at this time, then we are going to move on to our next employer, which I'd like to introduce Mitch from Shiloh Assisted Living.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Again, I'm Mitch Pollinch. I'm Director of Business Development for MN Signature Care. We own and operate Shiloh Assisted Living. And if you'd advance the next slide, please. I'm extremely excited to get this opportunity today to reach out and hopefully also host a breakout session after this event for those of you that'd like to come and chat with us a little bit more. I have Michelle Nelson, our Director of Housing here. So this property is located just north of Brainerd. Many of you are familiar with the lakes area, north of Gull Lake, between Nisswa and Pequot Lakes by the Preserve Golf Course. It's only a couple of blocks off of Highway 371 and is a 20-acre campus consisting of 4 different buildings where we provide services for the elderly residential campus. Next slide, please. The current positions that we have open include 6 home health aides or HHA, 3 kitchen staff or dietary, and 1 LPN position. We offer a warm home-like environment with 24-hour wake staff and services that keep our residents' best interests in mind. Next slide, please. It's a fun and safe working environment. As all of you know, there are many people that have provided oversight to the assisted living communities all across our nation in these difficult times. All of our facilities have remained COVID-free. We are very happy to say and share that with everyone we speak to. So it is a safe working environment. We have many shift options are also available at each one of our buildings, being that they are 24 hours per day. Positions are available immediately, and one of the restrictions is that due to the care we provide, all of our employees must be able to pass a detailed background check. Next slide, please. So the position details, without going into a ton of detail, happy to answer any additional questions again at the breakout session after this presentation. But for the HHA, the home health aide is responsible for assisting the licensed nurse in the delivery of resident care. There are full and part-time positions available. No experience is required. We do offer paid training. That paid training is provided by our full-time director of nursing, who is on site 5 days a week. And all of those positions all of those positions that work over 32 hours per week are eligible to receive benefits. The starting wage for this position is $14 to $16 per hour. Next slide, please. Additional positions that we have open is our cook/dietary aide. This individual plans, prepares, cooks, and serves meals and snacks to all of our residents and also the residents' family members when they may come to visit. There are full and part-time positions available. Again, no experience required. It is beneficial if you have some restaurant experience in the past, but our buildings do boast very large dining rooms with commercial kitchens, and benefits are available to full-time employees with a starting wage between $13 and $14 per hour. The licensed practical nurse, or LPN, is a licensed position with formal education. This is a full-time position with benefits available, and the starting wage for this is $20 to $22 per hour based upon your experience. Next slide, please. You can apply in a couple of different ways. Kristen, our assistant housing manager, via phone anytime is available should you have any questions or would like to reach out to her to schedule an interview or fill out an application. Her email address also listed there, and our website has a link for all employment information that's listed on this slide. So again, very happy to be a part of this and look forward to answering any questions that you folks may have.
Great, thank you, Mitch. Is there any questions that came in the Q&A for this employer?
Pam, I don't have any questions listed for Mitch right now, but I have one myself, and I was just wondering if he could tell us just a little bit about how if individual employees work with on a region of a floor, or they're all over each building every day. I know he has kind of an extended campus.
Yeah, absolutely. So depending on the time of the day, typically through the overnight shift, there may only be 1 or 2 individuals in each one of the buildings. The buildings have between 15 to 25 residents per building. So during the day shift, you can have anywhere from 2 to 4, just depending on how many particular residents are there. So those individuals do travel occasionally from building to building, but particularly when the shifts are scheduled out, we take the opportunity to keep the same individuals as frequently as possible in each buildings, because they really develop a rapport with our residents, and part of the experience that we provide for those residents and is that rapport and getting to know their care providers. So it is again 4 different buildings on this particular campus, but you do also have the different dietary positions. So in any home, you could see anywhere from 5 to 8 different employees working during the day.
Okay, thank you. And we do have a question for you, Mitch. What is the range of care needed by your residents? Do you care for dementia or non-ambulatory residents?
Yes.
We do, yes. At this particular facility, one of our buildings is designated for that higher acuity or dementia level care, correct?
Okay. And then how low a level of care do some of your residents require?
Absolutely, yeah. Some of our residents require very little assistance with their day-to-day tasks. They maybe need just some help with some medication management. So, you know, the lowest acuity or the lowest care being just medication management. Each one of our residents is provided with a room, and they get their 3 meals a day that is cooked by our dietary or kitchen staff. So it can be on the very low side of that all the way up to, again, as you talked, a secured building with the dementia residents.
Thank you.
Any other questions in the Q&A for Shiloh?
Not at this time, Pam.
Okay.
I see. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I see someone asked, do you help people get HHA training? On the Q&A here, and I can answer that. Yes, we actually provide the HHA training on site with our director of nursing, and one of our RNs provide the required training. So there's no experience required to apply for the HHA position. You will spend between 5 and 7 days at the beginning of your employment receiving the required training.
That's quite a benefit to not have to worry about where do I go for training and paying for training. So that's awesome. I have a couple other questions, Mitch. What about activities staff? Is that part of the LPN or the HHA duties, or do you have specific staff for that?
We actually have a full-time activities coordinator on campus. They coordinate with the HHAs to gather the individual residents, and the groups are a lot smaller right now considering some of the restrictions we have in place with the pandemic. But the HHAs are an intricate part of each one of those activities and helping create that home-like experience for those residents. So we do have a full-time activities coordinator that puts together the plan for the week, and then they work with the HHAs to bring those events to life for our residents.
Awesome, thank you. And do you have any opportunities that might work for high school students? I know some of us career force agencies work with students, and we're really always looking for opportunities for high school students, like perhaps in dietary or housekeeping, anything that might work?
Yeah, absolutely. There are some restrictions on the resident care side of with the high school students, but it's a very large campus. We have a couple of younger individuals that help out in the kitchen, also help out with taking care of the grounds and cleaning some of the buildings throughout the day. Yes.
Thank you, Mitch. So any other questions in the Q&A for Mitch with Shiloh Assisted Living?
No new questions at this time, Pam. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So thank you so much, Mitch, for sharing with us about Shiloh Assisted Living. And next on deck, I'd like to introduce Andrea or Ellie. Andrea here from Trident.
Good morning. Yes, it is Andrea from Trident Seafoods. We're located over in Motley, Minnesota, and we are the largest surimi seafood center in North America, which means we make both refrigerated and frozen products for different retails and restaurants. A lot of people don't really know what surimi is, but it's made from sustainably sourced wild Alaska pollock. So we don't actually process whole fish or fish fillets here. We make things like imitation crab and lobster products. We are currently hiring for both our second and our third shifts. Second shift is typically scheduled 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Fridays. And our third shift is typically 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Sunday through Thursday. And we do have some mandatory overtime that comes up, but our wages right now, starting on second shift, are $16.61 up to $16.94 per hour. And our third shift with their shift differential is going to be at $17.62 up to $17.96, depending on position. It's pretty awesome that we offer some pretty rapid pay increases and lots of opportunities for people to advance. We currently have a $1,000 hiring bonus, as well as employees are being able to offer referral bonuses. So they can get $1,000 for referring others to work here as well. We have a great benefit package that includes medical. We have some employer-funded health savings accounts. You have options for dental and vision insurance, life insurance, 401k match, and we also offer vacation and paid sick time, as well as paid parental leave, which is really kind of a nice feature to have here. With this really busy season upon us, we have been working some pretty frequent overtime, but due to this, we have just temporarily changed our overtime rules. So instead of having to wait until you work 40 hours for overtime, we are now paying time and a half for anything worked over 32 hours. And if you're going to put in anything over 40, it's actually going to be double time. So yes, that would be making 30 something an hour, even starting out for those 40 hours plus a week. We do have a variety of positions open right now, and you kind of have to see them to believe them and fully understand what they are. But currently in our spice area, they work at filling up the different bins of ingredients, weighing and measuring out the different ingredients to get ready for the batches that we make in our mixing room. They're pretty often working in about 10 to 25 pounds, but could do up to 40 or so. But kind of like bulking and bake, weighing everything out like that. Our mixing area is for the people that like to be out and moving quite a bit, because that can be a little bit more physical, lifting up to about 50 pounds or so. But they are the ones that are unboxing that surimi, which is our main fish ingredient, and are mixing the large batches of our product. They do keep themselves moving pretty quickly. So if you've got people that like that work, it's a pretty awesome job to run that equipment. We also have quite a few packaging areas where they rotate into different spots to help break up their day. They might be doing things like transferring products from the conveyors into packages. They may move it from one conveyor to another, helping to sort packages out as they go in the cooker or come out. Frequently, they're lifting just a couple of pounds, maybe that 5 to 10 pound range, but sometimes up to 25 pounds. So not nearly as physical as a lot of other positions that are out there. We have tier mat operator positions, which the tier mats are our vacuum packaging system. So those operators are monitoring packages to make sure they conform to like product specifics. They're doing lots of checks and balance. It's a little more techy, but not necessarily running a computer. And they do end up lifting around 50 pounds in there sometimes as well, but they get to use some kind of fun lift assist technology too for some of the big lifting. Back in our boxing area, they are preparing the boxes. So sometimes they're folding them by hand, sometimes they're running our case erectors, but then they're going to count those packages out, stack those boxes up on our pallets to be shipped out. And so this one's kind of a in between where sometimes they get to kind of stand and do just a little light lifting, and other times they get to move around throughout their shift, but they also rotate into different areas throughout the evening. All of our positions are working on your feet, so if you don't like sitting around, these are definitely some positions for you. And we do have different cleaning and sanitation that comes up throughout the week, so that can come up with any position at any time. For us here, our employee safety really is our #1 priority. So we are definitely making sure we have a nice, clean, safe environment. And if you're interested in hearing more, you can always give us a call. I'm Andrea. I'm typically the one that is answering those phone calls and following up with applications. You can apply online at tridentseafoods.com. And if computers aren't always your thing, again, you can give me a call and we may be able to help you through that application here on site if need be. And other than that, I guess I'm not sure what else to say other than I know I love working for Trident Seafoods and hope we can see a few of you there too.
Thank you, Andrea. So do we have any questions, Jema, in the Q&A?
Well, I'd like to just mention a couple comments that came across, Andrea. Some things about kudos for paying overtime after 32 hours. That's a great incentive. And another.
We are very excited to roll this out. In fact, it's actually our employees will be finding out about more of it today. So this is kind of letting the cat out of the bag a little bit.
Oh, that's neat. We get to be the part of the first. And another comment came to you for the awesome wages. So yeah, these are definitely good opportunities for folks.
I have a couple of other questions for you, Andrea. What about any background or drug testing requirements?
Yes, due to the safety standards around here, we do require drug screens as well as we do have a background check. And we do also do a health questionnaire, which basically it's a series of questions to verify that a person really is going to be comfortable with their chosen position.
And when you do hiring, what is skills or experience to look for?
Well, honestly, some of the biggest things we're looking for is to make sure people will, show up for work each day and be able to jump into the job and help out. Really wanting to make sure that they're either going to be comfortable or familiar with being on their feet. Because if it's not something you've done before, switching from a job where you're sitting to standing can be a little tough to transition. But fortunately, we do have a variety of that moderate or lightly physical all the way up to quite a bit more physical. So we can usually find something in between there. And we do also do on-site interviews here. And I would always go out and show them the work area as well. And so we kind of check out all those positions. So that way they can see, where they may be interested in starting and opportunities that could come up down the road too.
Great, thank you, Andrea. I'm also curious about some of the behind the scenes types of positions that you might have. Like, do you have food scientists on staff?
We actually do have our own R&D department here. We're kind of a hybrid facility here where We do have roughly 40 or 50 people working in the office in some of those positions that are actually part of our corporate, who is based out of Seattle. But I'll be honest, a lot of those positions can be pretty coveted, so they don't come up that often. A lot of those people have been here a few decades or have actually started out in our production areas and had learned about us and that way and really showed us who they were, and then added some of that experience or some additional training to get to some of those roles. And I do see a question about the level of English skills. So again, due to safety and training, you do need to be able to speak and understand and read some English to make sure they can follow those safety directions or to be able to communicate when there's an issue. We do have some that are kind of limited in their English, but it does have to have at least that basic amount that I can kind of get through an interview process and understanding each other.
Okay, and thank you. And Andrea, we also have a question regarding, is it a cold or wet environment, or what is the workspace like?
Well, it can be. We do have some areas that are kept cool, like back in our boxing where the product is down to refrigerator or freezer. They often can have jackets back there to stay a little warmer. We cook everything on site, so there's some areas that are quite hot, especially through the summer months. And we are constantly cleaning, so having water around and on the floor is not uncommon, but we do pretty well to keep it drained so it's not a tripping or slip hazard.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I did have one question about a little bit more. Could you tell us a little bit more about the interviewing process in addition to the fact that you do it on site? Is it a multiple interview process?
Well, typically what happens is when applications come in, I make an initial phone call in that first day or two and just make sure that the schedule and kind of the basics match up. And then we do an interview with just that person when they come in. And then a tour could include others or just that person. And if everything seems like a good fit, generally we're able to make an offer right away and get that process started. So often I have people starting the same week that they interview, or, we happily wait for them to give notice if they had a prior commitment to finish out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions for Andrea from Trident?
No, Pam, I don't see any right now.
Well, if you do, give me a call anytime.
All right, thank you so much, Andrea, and for participating. And then at this time, I'd like to introduce Danny from Mason Brothers.
Hi, everyone. I work here at Mason Brothers. I've been with the company for about a year. I can tell you guys I've worked for a lot of other places and I've done some traveling, hiring and management, and I really, really enjoy my job here. It's been a fantastic crew to work with. Little bit about the company. So we do grocery wholesale. We also have a bakery that is attached to our business as well. So a very wide range of opportunities. We hire anything from accounting, HR, obviously, and then we have some office crew, procurement team. We have a little bit of bakers. We have some production. We have some packaging. We have our own meat department where we cut up our own meat. We have our own frozen. We have our own dairy. We have, it's a wide range of stuff. We have wonderful, wonderful benefits here. My favorite benefit here is being able to purchase the stuff out of the warehouse, but don't tell, group life insurance, short-term disability, health, dental, vision. We do a 401k, and we match. We also have the HSA. We have our own fitness center, which is very, very nice. It's in-house, swimming pool, weight room, racquetball courts, some different things like that are very, very beneficial for the employees, and they enjoy using them. Next slide, please. So we're really about making sure that our customers are satisfied, that we can, you know, extend our growth. Recently, we've talked about adding on 10 new stores. So lots of hiring in my future. We want to make sure that, you know, we're providing that excellence to both the customers and the employees. It's important to us to make sure the employees understand that they're valued and that they're a big part of making everything turn. So next slide, please. We have advertising, technology, warehouse and trucking. We employ our own truck drivers. We have a retail sales staff. We, you know, next slide, please. We have a lot of opportunities. We do some deli, we do dairy, frozen, tobacco, health and beauty, shampoos, fresh meat. Obviously, like I said, we have our own meat cutting department. And then we have, like I said, the big part of our company is that we have that Abby's Bakery. Let me tell you, you can walk into that bakery and smell those cookies and rolls and drive down the street. We have a lot of people that are always very interested in that. So next slide, please. We do a lot of, we have a lot of different ways that you can apply for a position with us. You can call here, ask what the best way to apply is. You can fax a resume. You can email your resume to the careers@masonbros.com. We have a huge Facebook online presence, Friend Mason Brothers on Facebook, and we post, you know, every week. Our graphics department goes in and they post the positions and the opportunities that we have available currently. It's updated weekly. Our interviewing process is, we do it a little bit differently depending on the position that you're being interviewed for. So if you're being interviewed for an office position, you initially do a first interview with myself and Roland, and a second interview with Rick, the owner of the company, and maybe another individual from that department that kind of heads things up to see if it's going to be a good fit. If you're working in the warehouse, we typically, you do an interview with me, an interview with one of the warehouse supervisors, and we can typically make the decision same day. So we do a tour of the warehouse if you request that you would like to see the warehouse. We don't always do a warehouse tour every time. A lot of it depends on how much background experience you have. Have you worked in a warehouse before? The one thing I really like to do is when someone applies and we're going to do that interviewing process, I'll call them and we'll do a short on the phone interview, just talking about, okay, this is the stuff that you'll be doing. Do you feel comfortable with that? Okay, well, let's talk about, this is the work environment and this is some of the things, the shifts and the times that you'll be working. Do you feel comfortable with that? So that kind of gets us into that in-person interview. And then from there, we do an interview with the warehouse person and stuff as well. So I usually try to get back to you the same week that you have applied. Doesn't always happen. I don't know about anybody else, but this has been a different year for us. But yeah, we're really excited to see what this year brings, and we're really excited to you know, talk about the new stores that we're bringing in, the new products that we're selling. You know, there's a lot of different stuff happening all the time in that grocery industry. So if you have any questions, or you ever need to know anything about the company, if you want to know what benefits we provide, anything like that, we always try to be very upfront and honest about what we have going on. That way we can be sure that this is a great fit for you, because the point in having you here is to have you be part of the team and enjoy your job and find it rewarding. If you don't, you know, it's not always the best thing. It isn't for everybody, but we want to make sure that you're going to be comfortable and it's a good fit for you and it's a good fit for us. So never hesitate to reach out to us and ask us a few questions and find out if this is, you know, going to be the best place for you. Does anybody have any questions about the positions here or the interviewing process?
Yes.
We have a question for you. What geographic area do you service? Are your drivers like going away overnight, or is it a daily delivery?
It's a little bit of both. We go out as far as the UP of Michigan for our drivers. We have a couple of teams that do what we call tag team driving. I'm sure, drivers kind of know what that is, but we have 2 drivers go out and they're constantly driving to ensure that they can go out and back on the shortest amount of time possible. And then but the majority of the drivers are day trip. They leave in the morning and they're done in the afternoon.
Okay, thank you. And then we have a comment just to share. Love the fitness center benefit. That sounds wonderful.
So, I'm sorry, what was that?
We received a comment, not a question, but just thinking that the fitness center benefit sounded absolutely wonderful.
It is very nice. My children love the pool, probably more than I like taking them there. So
I suppose that's the balance.
It's very nice because it is open to your family, as long as we do, we have a few requirements and stuff, but it's very nice, especially over those winter months, to find something for your kids to do. So I also see could you say what the shifts are and how many people work there? Right now we currently have 275 people working for us. We're, obviously we're getting ready to hire, Aaron and I, our graphics guy, just went over, and I have some driving positions that are going to be opening because we're opening up some routes. The shifts range, we have some day shifts. When you look at our day shift warehouse, they start at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. If you look at our mid shift, they start at 1, and then our night shift starts at 8 p.m. So, depending on, we are really flexible. We have some people that can't, they have some life stuff. We're a huge employer for some of the tech school kids. So we're very, very flexible with, I can't start till 5 and I can only work till this time because I have to get home and do some homework and stuff. We're very flexible with that group. In the bakery, the youngest age we can hire is 16. In the warehouse, the youngest is 18. They have to be able to use our power equipment. So.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And so, like I said, if you guys have any questions or need anything, just reach out and don't hesitate to ask us.
Danny, I had a question. Do you have any driving positions that are non-CDL?
No, we do not. Everything is CDL and they have to be DOT certified. And then we follow those DOT regulations. We have our own department that takes care of it. Interesting enough, we actually have, when I talk about, we have a huge array of different things. Everything here is pretty much, we do it in-house. We have our own shop and our own mechanics. Like I said, we have our warehouse supervisor, and we have a DOT certified gentleman that keeps track of all of our driving records. We have our own logistics and dispatching for all of our truck services. We have our own graphics department. We have our own accounting department. We have our own in-house buyer team. So a lot of different opportunities and a lot of different stuff. So.
I had another question for you, Danny. Do you hire many older workers?
We do. Actually, interesting enough, we have a lot of, this sounds terrible, but we have a lot of these older ladies that are going to retire, or gentlemen that are going to retire, and they'll come to us and they'll work in the bakery just packaging. It's not, it's standing on your feet a lot, but I mean, the most you're required to ever lift is 15 pounds. So it's a pretty, you're putting buns and hamburger buns and bread and cookies and containers and putting some labels on it and putting them in some trays. So it's kind of it's easy for them. It gets them out. It lets them, visit and stuff. I think we have a person that's 84 that works over in the bakery. She's going to turn 85, or she did just turn 85. I don't know. We were doing a birthday thing for her, and we were talking about it. So she works over in the bakery, and she does very, very well. She doesn't feel like it's too much, and she enjoys it. But I think a lot of it is, can you be on your feet? You're on your feet on those concrete floors, and so that's a big part of it.
And so is some of that position part-time?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. We hire both part-time and full-time. So like I said, we're really flexible. I have some high school kids that said, can I stay for the school year? And we were like, absolutely. Let's figure out what's going to work for you guys. I want you to be able to get your schoolwork done, but and I still want you to be able to make money, but let's make sure your school's the most important. And we went over what would work for them, and then we'll probably reevaluate when those sports times come up. If they come up this year, we'll see. And then we have some people that just come in and work 4-hour shifts and they leave. And we do that in both the warehouse and the bakery. So.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you very much, Danny. Wow, there's a lot of opportunities there at Mason Brothers that I just had no idea, those things that go along behind the scenes to carry on business. So thank you very much.
Honestly, when I started, I didn't realize it either. And when I was walking around, I'm like, wow, this is way more than I thought. But it's very nice, lots of different roles.
All right, well, thank you very much. So our last employer for today, and certainly not least, is Allie from Essentia Health.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to talk about some of the careers we have available for everyone. So we can just go right ahead and go on to the next slide, please. So first, I just want to talk about our different locations and different facilities we have. If you're not familiar with Essentia Health, we are a hospital and healthcare facility with multiple hospitals and clinics and long-term care facilities kind of throughout the northern Minnesota, central Minnesota region, all the way into our west region, which is in North Dakota. And so today we're primarily focusing on our Brainerd Lakes area, kind of highlighted in the yellow on this map here. Next slide, please. So I just wanted to go over some of our entry-level positions open in Brainerd right now. These are not the only ones. These are just the top 3 I wanted to highlight today. So for our first position, environmental services technicians, popularly known as housekeeping, we start them at $13.83 an hour, and just so you're aware, all of our starting pay rates go up based on relevant experience to the position. So if you have previous cleaning experience, customer service experience, that all goes towards credit to help raising your hourly rate of pay. We have some multiple positions available in this area. We have full-time positions, which are 36 hours per pay period, day evening shifts, and then we have our part-time evening shifts. Just a little glimpse into what the role entails. Responsible for maintaining the cleanliness and quality within our healthcare facilities, and, cleaning the patient spaces, the public spaces, things like that, administrative areas in the evenings when everyone's kind of gone home for the day. Those are the typical types of responsibilities in the environmental services technician position. Moving on to the phlebotomist position, if you have any interest in healthcare and working more one-on-one with patients, phlebotomy is a great way to start. We have various shifts available in this role part-time in our clinic and hospital settings. You work on obtaining blood samples from patients, from newborn to elderly. Of course, there's on-the-job training with this role. We don't just throw you in there first day drawing blood from anyone, but there's on-the-job training for this. So if you're really looking for that segue into healthcare, phlebotomy is a great way to start in there. And then moving on to one of our last roles, guest service representatives are starting at $11.13 an hour. And again, with that compensation model, if you have any relevant experience towards customer service and guest service positions, that will go towards your starting rate of pay. We do have part-time shifts available for this position, kind of just various shifts all over the board, many openings in this area. It is a newer position we've had to come up with COVID-19 and the struggles we face with that, and just making sure our patients and employees are safe with screening at all of our doors at our facilities. So you're going to be responsible for screening patients for COVID, and possibly triaging if people are showing symptoms, asking questions, handing out masks to any patients or visitors if they don't have one themselves, providing directions for any visitors or guests that need them. Those types of duties are going to be associated with this role. Again, like I said, these aren't the only entry-level positions we have open. We also have positions in our registration department that help patients check in for their appointments. We have a ton of openings on our website, which I'll go over. Next slide, please. So some of the benefits to working in healthcare, we do have benefits, medical, dental, 401k. Discounts can be available dependent on where you're working. Our benefits are available for any staff working a 0.5 FTE and above, which means 20 hours per week or more. Benefits are available. We have some competitive wages with our market. There's so much room for professional development and growth opportunities within the organization. So if you're truly looking for a journey in your career, this is a great place to start. We potentially offer educational assistance depending on what roles you're looking into. And we do offer educational assistance for some of our full-time staff as well, looking to go back to school. And it's just a fulfilling career for people who enjoy caring for others. Healthcare is just the place for you if you're looking for that. Next slide, please. And so lastly, I wanted to go over our career site. And so you're able to apply to any of our open positions on essentiacareers.org. The first step to applying is creating your candidate account. And once you've created this account, you can apply to many positions with that account. And that account just holds your information such as your employment history, your resume, contact information, all the good things we'll need to get a hold of you for an interview. And so there's just some quick instructions I listed on this slide on how to create the candidate account. It is very easy, very user-friendly. We actually redid our careers website last year, and so there's a lot of great pictures and references. If you're interested in learning a bit more about each location, you can even drill into the location of the position and read about the schools in the area and things like that if you're not super familiar with Brainerd Lakes and you've maybe just moved there. I did want to go over how to also sign up for job alerts. You can do that in the same place where you apply. You go down to the bottom of our page and click the sign up for job alerts. So if you're looking through our website and aren't seeing something you're particularly interested in, and you're looking for something specific, you can sign up for a job alert. So when we do post it, the next time we do, you'll be one of the first to know and you'll be able to apply right away. Next slide, please. Wanted to open it up for any questions. Before I do that, I quickly wanted to mention right now for interviews, we're doing virtual interviews. So we're doing all video conference or phone interviews right now. And so with that, you'll see a confirmation email, and that's where you'll get a summary of our benefits that I referred to earlier. So each candidate is getting a little bit of a summary of our benefits. So if that's something you're interested in, you receive that upon your confirmation of your interview. But that's the last comment I had. So I'm open to any questions.
So thank you. Could you talk just a little bit about what kind of advancement some of these entry-level positions might have?
Sure thing. So I can start with phlebotomy. So in the lab ladder, I suppose you could call it. So phlebotomy would be a great entry-level position for our lab. And if you're interested in advancing your career in that, there is another position we have called a lab processing technician, a little bit more skilled job duties with that role and just a little bit of a compensation increase with that ladder. And then after that, you can either move on to a 2 or 4 year degree in medical lab technology or medical technology. And just as we're moving forward in time, we're starting to promote and assist employees in moving towards these things. If you're interested in going back to school, that's something we're helping with right now in this area, as well as nursing. So I didn't go over the CNA role because that does require some training prior to, but that is also a career ladder we offer for the nursing career ladder. And just within the company, we have, if you don't want to stay within the same department, you don't even really have to. If you're working in environmental services and you're maybe interested in things in our dietary department, or even just professional level, such as registration or administrative things, there's many roles within the organization that can help you grow into what you want. And we really try to help our internal staff grow within the company. If that's something you're looking for, you reach out at the time and we just have that discussion and see what you're looking for.
Okay, it looks like we're almost out of time, but I had a couple questions that came in here. Can you talk just about any sign-on bonuses or referral bonus type programs? And then
Sure
I have one
thing.
more if you have it.
Yeah, and so our sign-on bonuses are advertised on the jobs if we're offering them. I didn't notice we are doing any in the Brainerd Lakes area currently, so there's not any, but if there are, it's very advertised in the title for the future reference. As for referral bonus for our current staff, for select positions, we offer a $500 referral bonus. So if you're currently working for us and refer a friend, there's a $500 referral bonus for that. And then I did notice the question, what are key things a person can do for a successful interview and what we look for? We look for great customer service, great attitude. We look for longevity and just passion for healthcare and compassionate workers. Those are, we're treating our patients with the best quality of care we can, and we're really looking for people that are passionate about that. And so those are kind of just my tidbits and advice pieces for interviewing.
Thank you, Allison.
Yep.
Yes, thank you, Allison. And so Essentia Health will have a post-event breakout session, so watch for the link in the Q&A for that, as well as Shiloh has the post-event breakout session. So I want to thank all of our employers who presented today. The breakout sessions for Shiloh and Essentia Health will start in just a few minutes at around 11 a.m. So please follow up on those links in the Q&A and join with those employers. So I'd like to thank all of our participants and job seekers who attended our event today. Attendees, if you have not yet completed the attendance form, please do so now by using the link posted in the Q&A for the attendance. We encourage you to visit www.careerforcemn.com to search for upcoming events such as career fairs, job clubs, career planning and job seeking skills workshops, and more. I know there's a career fair happening in Bemidji next week, so you can put in your geographic area and search for events located close to you. Another benefit for Minnesotans is Coursera. So check out the careerforcemn.com/Coursera, and that's COURSERA link for like 3,800 online learning opportunities, courses that you can take. They're available for a limited time for Minnesotans without any cost. You have to sign up by December 31st and get your access started by March 31st. So these programs are aimed at preparing people for in-demand jobs. It could be used for people who are working and want to further develop their skills, or it could be used for job seekers to enhance their skills to potential employers. So professional certifications earned by users are also available at no cost through that program. To find a career force near you, visit www.careerforcemn.com/locations. And from there, you can link to your particular area of career force and get connected with a job counselor. If you've been unable to attend some of our career force online career fairs, workshops, and classes, you can watch recordings on YouTube. So if you visit the www.careerforcemn.com website, select the link for career seekers and then virtual and interactive services and scroll down and you'll see recordings of multiple events. This event is also recorded, so you'll find a recording of this event as well. So this event was brought to you by the partners at the Little Falls, Wadena, and Brainerd Career Force locations. Please contact these offices for job search and career planning assistance. We have their phone numbers and addresses for the various locations in our community posted on the slide. And again, I want to thank you, all of our employers and our job seekers, for attending today's event. And this concludes today's virtual career fair. And be sure to link up to those breakout sessions if you're interested in having some conversation with Shiloh Assisted Living and Essentia Health. Thank you.